So today is the 6th of October. This is Commercial Strategy 2 at the HEAL 2021 Academy with Jasper. Jasper.
Thank you, Nadine, and good to have you back. It says you can't start screen share while the other participant is sharing. Is someone sharing? All right. Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you again. It's good morning for most of you. It's good night for me. It's one o'clock in the night, but I slept like 4 hours, so I'm fresh for the session. And yeah, the first session we were talking about, let's say, the fundamentals of commercial strategy. And today we're going to talk about how to build a commercial strategy, and I believe in the power of repetition. So some of the concepts will be repeated, but this is really on purpose to really make sure that we can implement it in your business, because the commercial scorecard with the 10 elements, the theory is quite straightforward, but now it's about the implementation, right? Yeah, so the feedback from the previous session, the average feedback was a 9.1. So I'm happy to see that you enjoyed the session. What you liked was the structure, the practical examples. It was quite concise and to the point, and you liked the pace, so not too fast, not too slow. So these 4 elements we will try to keep the session and never change the winning team. And there are 2 points that you think could be improved. So one is the technical challenges with Zoom, and Nadine already mentioned that. And 2, one person said it's too long. We're not going to change the length of the session, but what I can say is that sitting for 2 hours behind the screen can be long. I really recognize that. So we have 3 breakout sessions this session, and please feel welcome to stand up. Maybe you think sitting is more professional or polite, but please feel free to stand up and do this discussion standing. Maybe that helps in making this session more energetic. So that was the feedback from previous session. My goal is not to just deliver 2 sessions, but really to help you grow and improve your commercial strategy. So there's 5 steps that we're taking. So one is to fill in your commercial scorecard to become more aware of what you do well, what you can improve. You've done that and you scored on average like 50 points out of the 100. Session 1 was learn about the commercial strategy fundamentals. Step 3 is to fill in your commercial scorecard the target. And you want to grow a lot from like 50 to 80 points. So that's nice that everyone is quite eager to grow. And then the session 2 is to learn about how to build your commercial strategy, but will be very hands-on with 3 breakout sessions. And yeah, you will define your actions. And then 5 is implement your strategy and define priorities after the sessions. So that's a bit the action plan. Today, we want to get clarity on your ambition. What's your ambition? Where are you playing? And how do you want to win? We want to bring more structure to your strategy and define a few actions. So that's the goal for today. This is the agenda, intro and expectations. We will discuss the commercial scorecard. We will do a session on your company strategy. We will have a case example from the Middle East. We have a short break. We will implement the fundamentals. We have a case example from Africa. We'll talk about the marketing and sales funnel, and we will reflect and have next steps. So that's the agenda for today. But the first question is, what do you want to get out of the session? And please think about it for maximum 60 seconds. So don't take too much time. And please write it in the chat. And while you write this in the chat, I will ask a few people to elaborate. And this will really help you to get focused on what you want to get out. But it also helps me to understand where you want to focus on. So please write it in the chat when you're ready. And in the meantime, I can maybe ask Veronique Velander, do you want to elaborate? Or do you want to share what you want to get out of today?
Yes, why not? I think from today's session, I went through your slides yesterday again, and the steps that you sort of taught us with the questions, and I tried to answer all of the questions. So from today's session, I would love to hear how, we can build, but also from a practical side, what resources would you recommend us use perhaps to execute some of these strategies that we have? So I'll be looking forward to seeing if there's any tips of particular resources, apps or whatnot, because I think it's always easy to maybe have ideas, but just to streamline those ideas and to actually execute on those and maybe measure those, plans and things that you have is sometimes challenging, and strategy always changes as well. Maybe some tips in that regard. So yeah, cool. I'm really looking forward to today's session.
And what type of resource are you looking for?
I don't know. Specifically, like, I don't know if you have tips in terms of how, if we have particular strategies, how do we measure? So for example, if, the things that we wrote down, those questions that you posed last time, I have some of so I wrote it in my notebook. I'm very still much old school. But like if there's particular tools that we can just capture the strategies so it doesn't get lost along the way. I don't know what you've used in the past. Yeah, that would be helpful.
That's a very good question. And I think do you have a digital business?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
And do you use Google Analytics already?
Yes, we do, but we're still sort of learning the ropes, to be honest, with Google Analytics. So we're not experts. Yeah.
No, I can see, but that's a good point to start. Google has an academy where you can learn a lot on them. But I will take a note on that, on the resources. I hope we can get back to that. So thanks for sharing. And I don't see any messages on the chat. So is it a difficult question for you to answer, or people are not really chatty today? Maybe Mikola Smirnov, can you also share what you want to get out of today?
Well, hi. I don't have concrete expectations about this session, but I think I'll get maybe new tools on implementation of commercial strategy into our business.
Okay, thank you for sharing. And then Jerome Bowers, do you want to share as well? I don't hear you yet. I must admit it's a bit difficult for me to run a session if you guys don't type anything in the chat. So I'm curious, isn't it just not showing it to me, or is it like, is it a difficult task for you, or what's the thing? David, get more clarity on how to proceed in solving our commercial challenges. Thanks for sharing. You also do a case example, so that's very nice. Well, okay, let's move forward. But I hope that the next exercise is, everyone can be a bit more proactive, to be honest. Okay, so discussing the commercial scorecard. So what you can see here is that before session 1, you scored a 50.7 in total. And after, so your target for this Christmas or at the end of the program of HIL is 79.6 points. So it's a 28.9 point difference, which is quite a step forward. So I'm happy that you now have this awareness. And then you can also see the delta. So per element, you can see how much you want to grow. And of course, this is the average of the cohort. But you can see that people want to grow the most in awareness activation, and processes and referrals. So awareness is really making sure that more people know about your business with advertising and PR and sending emails, etc. Activation is converting potential customers to real customers, and then processes and referrals. So I think it's interesting that the awareness and the activation, so it's, let's say, the beginning of the funnel is where the focus should be. And this is also a sign that some of the startups, they're not yet proactive enough in making sure that people know about you. And where you mentioned the least growth is people, customer, product, and pricing. And these are all part of the so-called fundamentals. So it looks like that you're more happy about your foundation than about your sales funnel. Is there someone that wants to comment on these statistics? Let me remove this from my screen. For instance, Google Gomede, do you want to comment on these scorecard statistics, or what you get out, what you learn from this?
I'm still thinking. Yes, but
no problem.
I was just thinking.
No problem. Thinking is important in life, but what are your thoughts like when you see this, or maybe for your own business? What is the point that you would like to grow?
When we responded to the exercise, I think it was more of awareness. We were.
What type of awareness did you get? Like, on what element did you get most awareness?
Our business is based on an application. So we've, on the marketing side, we've done a lot of outreach programs, but we wanted to explore, like on Google, on what options that we can use via Google. It's just that I am more privileged to have an IT department that deals with this. So I honestly do not deal with this personally. We have like a business development department and an IT department. So yeah, so I was just thinking when you asked the question in respect to our business, but I know that when we answered the question the last time, it was more of awareness.
Yeah, oh, but that's good. And I think Google is really important for a lot of digital businesses in terms of the advertisement that you can do. And when people look for certain keywords, that you show up high on Google. So for everyone that is not yet conscious about working with Google, I mean, that's a really important step to follow. So yeah, thank you for sharing. So yeah, if we look at these 10 elements, and if we look at where people want to grow the most, the cohort says awareness and activation. But I'm also curious, like, where do you want to grow the most? So out of these 10, maybe reflect for a minute, like, what's the area where you really want the most growth? And then please share it in the chat, and then we can see what people say and ask a few people.
What? I don't want anything. I don't want anything. Thank you. I have my boarding pass, so you don't need
revenue. My Shami
have my boarding pass, so you don't need to. We don't need to talk about Transavia anymore ever again.
Can people go on mute if you don't want to talk?
I mean, nothing.
Shami Chetty, can you elaborate? Why did you share revenue?
Isn't that where everyone wants to grow?
Yeah, it's a good point. But what is the driver behind revenue? Because of course everyone wants to increase the revenue, I agree. But which of the ones is driving the revenue? Will that be your awareness, your activation? what's most important for you?
I think with our product, which is online contracts, awareness is a big deal initially because it is not a known category of product or a way to access legal services in South Africa. So it would have to be awareness and acquisition if I had to put it through that mold.
Yeah. I think that's really nice. So I like that you put revenue, but sometimes you have, let's say, the end goal, which might be revenue, but then you also have sub drivers. So it's important to become aware of them. And then maybe Eric Muriti, can you share why you mentioned awareness and activation?
Yeah, thanks, our business right now, I think the most important thing that we want to do is to have more of our target customers who know about its existence, because from our working with our partners, we have seen converting through our partners is easier than when we go to the customers directly, and we attribute that more to the brand of our customers, that they are known more than we are known. So we think if our name is out there more, and more people have heard about us and what we stand for and the solution that we offer, then when we go to meet our customers on our own, then we'll have a better chance of converting them. Yeah,
that's a good point. And are you interested in awareness? Are you the type of person that wants to and knock on many doors and make sure people get to know of your company? Are you like that extrovert type, or not really?
We are looking at awareness because our channels are okay. Our model, there's a part that we are going to the customers directly, and then there's a part of it that we are working with our partners to convert through the partners. So because of both of them, ultimately we would want to convert more directly through our platform, as opposed to when we go through the partners.
Yeah, so it's really awareness through partners. So one by one, you need to work with those partners, and then they will help you.
Yes, actually, that's our that's part of what we've agreed now, or we want to focus on, with the partners. I think after that, then we will get better visibility.
Yeah, but that's a good example. So Google could be a good example, but working with partners is really interesting. So I think for everyone, it will be important to define like, what are the 3 partners that can really increase your awareness? Yeah, so thank you for sharing. So I think the data were quite correct, because I see that awareness and activation are coming back a lot. And it's also really important in terms of activation to really understand what are currently the main reasons why people are not yet buying. Are you too expensive? Is the information not clear? Are you not yet solving the right problem? Can people go on mute? If you're not talking, can you go on mute? Some people are talking anyway. Okay. So the next part of the session is strategy. So we talked about commercial strategy with these 10 items, but one level higher is kind of your company strategy, and maybe you have your strategy crystal clear, but I just wanted to make sure that we spent 15 to 20 minutes on this to really get it clear. And to have a clear company strategy, you need to make choices in 3 areas. So 1 is your ambition. So what do you strive for? 2 is where to play. So what customers do you want to support? What products do you offer? What geographies are you in? And 3 is how to win. So how do you win from your competitors? And yeah, it could be wise to make this very clear for you. So in terms of ambition, like what are you striving for? I mentioned portfolio choices here, but it should actually, I copied that from the other one. It should be what are you striving for? So what is your revenue target? What is your impact target? Are you blue ocean or red ocean? So red ocean mean there's a lot of competition and you do something that other people already do. Blue ocean means you do something completely new. And what is your quantitative ambition, like your revenue target? Or qualitative, for instance, we want to be the most immigrant-friendly legal provider in Uganda. And then where to place, like what portfolio choices do you make? What customer segments do you target? What products do you offer? In what countries are you active? And in what parts of the value chain are you active? And then how to win is like, how do you win from competitors? Are you cheaper? Do you have more local knowledge? Maybe you compete with a global law firm, but you have more local knowledge of the Kenyan market. Do you have fast services? So these are the 3 questions for strategy. And I can give one example. So the Impact Hub is a program to accelerate social entrepreneurs. You could say a little bit like Hill, but then in a different area. And I work with them a lot. So their ambition is to accelerate the transition to a sustainable economy by helping grow social entrepreneurs. Their where to play is geography is global. The customer is social entrepreneurs. And the services is co-working facilities, acceleration programs, and network. And then the how to win is the values. I mean, they have a very clear focus on social entrepreneurs and sustainable economy. The network, they have a global network and collaborations with corporates. And they're organized bottom up. So they have 100 locations worldwide because in each city, local entrepreneurs can set up an impact hub, and that enables them to grow fast. And the exercise for you is, what is your strategy? So what is your ambition? Where do you play and how do you win? And by getting this clear, it really will help you to get also clear on how you communicate on your website, what customers you target, etc. And we will take 10 minutes for this exercise. And this exercise you will do with your own co-founders and not yet with other businesses. Are there any? Yeah. Excuse me?
Sorry, Jesper, go ahead.
Yeah, so now go ahead. I was done, I think.
Okay, so I will start breakout rooms for the 4 startups that have more than one co-founder or team member present. And for the rest of us, we stay here as individuals, each works on their strategy, and I'll play some music.
Thanks. Sorry. Yeah. Can you share the slide maybe, Nadine? Because if I do it, the music stops.
It shouldn't stop, but I can share the slides. Yes, no problem.
Thanks.
So I believe the time is over, and now over to Jasper again.
Thank you.
Of course.
Is there someone that wants to share maybe an insight that you got from the strategy? Usama Temtem, for instance.
Hello,
like...
am I audible?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
I can't hear you.
Usama has some connection issues today.
Okay. Okay, Usama, then we go to someone else. Maybe Odunoluwa Longe. Can you share a bit about your strategy?
Odun is part of the Hill team.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry that I don't see that in my screen because I see. Okay, who else? Vincent, maybe. Vincent Abuino.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah. Hello.
So we just had a short discussion with my my co-founder on the issue, the questions asked. So we just brushed through very quickly on those aspects that you had asked earlier. So what's our ambition? Our ambition is we want to provide people with reliable access to efficient emergency response services wherever they are. And our area of operation is we want to focus our energies on the East African region as we slowly grow and extrapolate the service to the African region in specific. On the how do we win against our competitors? So currently in Kenya, we are the only platform that aggregates all emergency services and the best providers on a single platform. And we intend to use that to our advantage. So we have very crucial partners in our platforms. And what we intend to do is to grow together with the partners. You'll find one of our partners is available in at least 8 countries in the East African region, or rather in the African region. And we want to take advantage of those partnerships in order to grow our services in those areas. So the way we win is in collaboration with the partners that we currently have and providing an aggregated service in which all emergency services are available for people to use.
Thank you for sharing. And your customers, they already need that aggregated service. They're valuing it. Has it been validated?
Yes, actually, when we started, the platform was only meant to provide security services to people. But with time, we started getting requests for combination of different services. They did not want just security; they needed, ambulance and roadside rescue assistance. So we aggregated the services into one, and most of the subscriptions we find, or rather we get, are those who select all the services and proceed to access the same.
Ah, that's nice. So you expanded your services based on the demands of the customer.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think for everyone that is struggling with activation, really take a look at your how to win, because maybe your how to win is not yet clear enough for yourself or for your customers. Because if you have some clear competitive advantage, then you start activating more. So yeah, if you have struggles with that, I recommend to understand your how to win more clearly. Okay, so now we have a bit of a strategy. We'll move into a case example for 10 minutes. And it will be David from Uryuan. I don't know if I pronounced that well. Do you want to share something on your screen, or you just want to talk? Because the idea is that you have 3 to 5 minutes to talk, and then people can ask questions or give recommendations from the audience.
Okay, hi, it's Uryuan. It's NG, it's Uryuan. It's Lebanese word. So, but startup is binayati. It's binayati. It's an Arabic word. It's my building. It's called my building. Translation. No, not share a screen. I just prepared on a file what I have to share. So our startup is called Binayati. It's a property management software. It's an online service. The aim of this software is to facilitate all common tasks related to a building, accounting tasks, communications, legal advisor, and communication. And so this is the main solution. It have many sections: accounting, communication, archiving, legal advice, and this is our solution. Our customers are mainly we are operating in Lebanon. It's been 3 years. We stopped around 2 years due to COVID and to the crisis in our country. Now we are back to life. In Lebanon, we have many type of clients. Mainly, our client is committee members in a building, tenants living in a mid to big size buildings or compounds. Then we have the property management companies, facility management companies, service providers, maybe real estate companies could be our clients. And finally, local authorities like municipalities, government agencies could be our customers. Mainly, we are working in Lebanon. Our target geographically, we can move to mainly to MENA region, since our solution is Arabic enabled, so it's an advantage for us. And our solution is suitable practically anywhere in any country where there's a building or a community or a compound. It could be applicable, our solution. Our main target is the MENA region, then Europe, then everywhere, anywhere on Earth. We already have some clients in Canada right now. What are our currently marketing and sales channels? We have our website. We are trying to have as much content and explanation on our website. We are using the social media, mainly Facebook and LinkedIn. Other social media didn't work for us, like Insta, TikTok, Twitter. They are not very relevant to our business. We are using bulk emails, newsletters and bulk emails. Newsletters to our customers to announce new features and new facilities, and bulk emails just to spread anyway. And we made some. We have some interviews on TV and on radios. What works the best was the TV and radio interviews. They have a very good impact, and many audience came from these interviews. On second hand, it comes as paid ads on social media and social media, on Facebook and LinkedIn. We were targeting in a specific age range and specific location in Lebanon. We started in Lebanon, in Beirut and Mount Lebanon, and even as a test, targeting female get more results than targeting males. I don't know why, but it was like this. And bulk emails has some effect, just for awareness. So we didn't get real clients from bulk emails, but we have get some awareness, more awareness. Currently, our main challenge is to get a new market outside Lebanon. So our main challenge is how to identify this new market in which country, which area in a country. We have to define the mentality of people, how the rules and regulation in such a country, how much the society is able to pay for such service. So we have to have some study on each country to identify the best market to target at first. We should target a market country by country. We can't target everywhere.
Yeah.
So our challenge is to, as much as we know in Lebanon, we are Lebanese, we know how the society and how people deal with such issues. We have to have a way to identify how much our solution is applicable in such a country and how much is acceptable, and we might get clients on it.
Thank you very much for sharing your example, David. I really like that you used television and radio interviews because they are free and they have a lot of impact.
Yes.
So also for other people in this room, if you haven't done that yet, I mean, that might be very interesting. So you want to find a new market. Do people in this room have any questions or recommendations for David? Please feel free to share. Maybe Solomon, do you have any questions or recommendations? And if people don't have, I can start. So I think for me, David, I would start with making a list of criteria, and I would call them market entry criteria. For instance, you could say 1, economic potential, 2, cultural and language fit, 3, ease of doing business in such a country. And then you define your criteria. Then you take a list of, let's say, 10 countries, and then you rate them based on their criteria to make sure that you're more objective about it instead of guessing. Do you have certain criteria already, market entry criteria?
No, not yet. I have to start this week. On the plan is to set these criteria and to start to share with people on several countries. So to get an overview.
Because then you basically do it very structured. You make, I mean, a bit like the commercial scorecard. You create 3 or 5 criteria. You choose 10 countries, and then you can fill per country.
Yes.
Right. And another criteria could be to what extent you have a network there already. If you know a few people in a country, it might be easier.
Yes, it's the easiest way to have someone in a country.
Yeah.
So he can answer this. I want to set like a questionnaire related to these criteria, and someone living in a country can have better answers, more clear and accurate answers.
Yeah. So that will be my recommendation. But are there any other people with recommendations or questions? Please feel free to share. If not, David, do you have any other specific question for someone in this group that you want to ask to a certain person?
Anybody is willing to help me to answer this questionnaire, these criteria in each country. We are here from around 20 countries, I guess. So I will prepare this criteria, this questionnaire, these criteria. And if anybody is willing to help me to answer this question, so I get these scores per country. So I have a clearer view where to start marketing and how to start marketing.
I think that's a great idea, David. And we can take it offline. But if you create an Excel list with market entry criteria, 10 countries that you want to assess, and then you can see which people in this group might be willing to help. And then they can help you in more detail. So Kenya already offered some help.
Okay, great. So I prepare this Excel file in the coming 2 days.
Yeah.
So
I hope I hope this has been helpful for you to share. And yeah, so for other people that want to be featured on television and radio, go to David to check out how he's doing that. Okay, we have a break. Initial plan was 10 minutes, but we used a little bit more time. So let's do 8 to be precise. Do we have a timer, Nadine, or should we just come back at 4 past?
I can share my screen with a timer. That should not be a problem. So, and then I'll also open up my mic and close the music and call everyone back in. So please just stay online.
All right. Thank you. See you soon, guys.
See you in a bit.
Wow. Thank you for the music.
And yep, we are back. Okay, thank you. Yes, so Jesper, over back to you.
Thank you. The music really gives some extra flavor to the session. I want to use that more often. Let me see, share my screen. You see my screen, right? Yeah. Okay, so we continue with the fundamentals of your commercial strategy. And I wanted to share a few tips. I shared some tips last session, but let's repeat some of them. So I will make a clear menu on a one-pager like a restaurant does. They have maybe fish, meat dishes, vegetarian, with a matrix of customers on one axis and products and services on the other axis. Because it might be that product A, you will sell to consumers, product B, you sell to businesses, but that you're really clear about what product you're selling to what customers. And typically people have some kind of idea, but they never really made that matrix. And then the second one, add prices to the menu and define whether the prices are recurring. So it's like a monthly fee or a weekly fee, or whether it's incidental. And in terms of people, really define the gaps in your team in terms of skills and what type of people you need to add. And hopefully the more aware you become of your commercial strategy, the clearer you become on the skills that you're lacking. Because if you decide that you want to do sales through B2B partners, maybe you need someone that has a background in B2B sales. If you're finding out that Google Ads is super important for you, you might want to find an experienced Google ad marketer. That's a very specialistic skill. Maybe you want to hire a freelancer. So be really honest about like what type of skill is going to bring your business to the next level. And then in terms of processes, define what customers need in each detailed step in the customer journey. And I will take a whiteboard and really follow each step of the customer journey. And for instance, when someone leaves their email on your website, I mean, what type of message do they receive? Do they see a message, let's say, thank you? Or do they get a nice visual email where you say, thank you for showing interest in our company, and we would love to meet you, would love to talk to you. So really make it very, very detailed. So these are a few tips. And since someone asked for tools, I think it was Veronique, I added this slide in the break. I think it's a good idea. So after this session, I will share this with Nadine, and then I will also add all the links to the websites that she can share it with you. But I will quickly go through it. So for instance, if you want to define your customers and services, business model canvas is a good tool. If you want to learn how to do customer interviews, the MOM test is a good tool. If you're looking for email marketing, MailChimp is a good tool. And I'm not going to read through all of them because I'll be sending them after the session. But basically, marketing and sales is a quite broad discipline. But for a lot of like specific things, there are specific tools. One that I use, for instance, very often is Typeform to make surveys. So I ask customers for feedback, or when I have a new idea. For instance, someone asked me, can you give a training for a company on a certain topic? Then I created quickly a Typeform, and then I said, can you share it with your employees? So I have an idea on like what they're looking for. So that's really nice. And for hiring people, I like Test Gorilla. So a lot of people hire people based on their resume or based on their feeling. But with Test Gorilla, you can cheaply buy a few skill tests, for instance, calculation with your head or language skills. And then you can, let's say 10 people apply to a certain job. You can ask these people, can you do these tests? And then you can select people based on their actually skills rather than on their resume and feelings. So I will share this with you, and maybe we can create an open doc. So if you know other tools, then you can add them to the list, and then you guys have a comprehensive list on the tools. So Veronique, do you want to comment on this, or do you have an additional question on this?
I don't have an additional question, but this is very helpful. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I will definitely go through some of the tools I've seen, but others that I've not. And I'm looking forward to going through some of them. Thanks so much.
That's good. Maybe one more that I really like. It's a bit nearly creepy, but it's called Crystal Knows. You can add it to your LinkedIn profile. And based on AI and your LinkedIn behavior, it shows your personality profile and how you can interact with people or negotiate with people. If you're interested in, let's say, people psychology, it's actually pretty cool. Yeah. Okay, so these are some tools. Then we will do a breakout session with another business. So it will be 12 minutes. And you will discuss certain questions, and maybe you've thought about a few of them before, but it's always important to repeat. And once you become more aware of your commercial strategy, things also change. So what products and services do you offer to what segments? And you can check, is your offering comprehensive or still something missing? What are the prices of your products? Do you charge too much, too little, or precisely enough? Which critical commercial skills are lacking in the team? And how will you get these skills on board? What type of standardized processes are lacking in your organization? And check, do you know what customers need in each step of the journey? You have 6 minutes per business, and then the other business goals. And you will learn in 2 ways. One, by sharing this with the others. I think it will help you remind on the important points, but also by listening to the other business, maybe you get some valuable information out of it. So make some notes also on what you learn from them. So Nadine, can you do the 12-minute breakout session, and maybe I can leave this slide on the screen.
Yep, so that's what I will do now. I will open the breakout rooms. Each breakout room has 2 startups, but we are an odd number of startups today, so one of them will have 3 founders. You will get the prompt now. Please let me know if you're having issues seeing the prompt, if it doesn't come up for you.
It's not coming up for me. Nothing.
And are you logged in from a browser, desktop?
No.
You're not getting the prompt.
The app?
Yeah.
On the app, or on the mobile app.
Mobile app, you will not be able to get the prompt. If you're on from a tablet or a phone, you will not be able to join a breakout room.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to log on from the desktop.
Okay, that's fine.
So David says he's on from the laptop, but he cannot join.
Yes, you didn't get any prompt.
That is very strange. Okay, I cannot seem to find the quick fix. So I will just try to close all the rooms and then open them again. Right, sorry everyone, for some reason we still seem to be running into the technical issues, even though we have quite a few people already logged in from the desktop client and they still can't seem to get the prompt. I'm just clicking on open all rooms again. And okay, we'll see if this works this time. All participants have been invited to join breakout rooms. This is the message I'm getting. Please let me know if you're getting the prompt. No, still? Okay. Okay, David, maybe do you have the most updated version of the app? This also applies to everyone.
I'll check. I don't know. I'll check it now.
Yeah, I see quite a few people haven't seen the prompt. This is quite worrying.
Where to check if I have the latest version?
Yeah, so basically you'd have to go to your Zoom app, just not the meeting.
Go to settings.
Yeah.
And where I have to check for updates, Zoom apps.
Exactly.
Now recording profile statistics.
Okay, no, I've switched to the computer. Please leave me in.
Okay, and I see someone else is trying to join the call.
Sure. Upgrade to Pro? No, I don't want to upgrade. Okay. Oh, I can't find where I have to update or check for updates for the Zoom.
Yeah, okay, let me try and take a screenshot.
Yes. So maybe people should do the exercise alone.
I think so, because it seems we're running into these technical issues again.
That's
it's quite unfortunate.
Yeah, no, it can happen. Let me see. Yeah, I think I will take, because we're already going to the next one, but take maybe a few minutes to analyze for yourself what the main improvement point is. So out of these 4 fundamentals, like what's the most important one for you to focus on? And get clear on that. So for instance, can someone share maybe? For instance, Lilian, what is it for you?
Okay, so I can go through.
So
okay, on the first one, sorry, let me just open up. Okay, on the first one, what product and services do we offer to what customer segment? Okay, currently, the way our product is, we are on a position where we are gathering property data to allow us. Can you hear me?
Sorry to interrupt you, but I actually mean from these 4 items.
Okay.
Which one is the top priority for you to work on?
Okay. I think this is the critical commercial market skills are you lacking in the team.
Okay,
which
and
is a sales team.
Which skill is lacking in your team?
Yeah, we are lacking a sales team, sales and business development team. Yeah.
And what type of sales? Is it B2B sales or digital sales?
B2B sales.
So you're lacking, okay. And what type of, so do you need to hire someone or will you train your team?
Yes, currently we are looking for a sales and business developer personnel to join the team.
I see, yeah. So I think this exercise is important for everyone, that you really get to the core, like instead of answering all those questions, like really understand what is the core. Yeah, thank you for sharing. And for you, Oleg Gorlachov, what is the key for you? Maybe he's not there. William, how is it for you? No answers. Maybe Veronique, you wanted to share maybe? You've been sharing before.
I think the core for us at this stage is probably just to get that customer product right. We're still sort of in the beginning, or but yeah, I would say starting early phase of our product. So I think just getting that fit right. So maybe doing the menu to understand exactly all of our assumptions and validating all of the assumptions that we have. So yeah, customer and product fit.
And have you ever sent a customer survey with questions?
It's a bit difficult because we're targeting sort of the marginalized communities that don't normally wouldn't necessarily probably respond to a survey, but more like on interviews. So we are setting those up now to be able to have more one-on-one, engagements with the customers. Yeah,
it's more face-to-face interviews.
Yeah, and it was a bit difficult in the beginning of the year because of COVID, but we have now some relaxations in terms of our regulations here, so now we are able to do those.
I understand. You can also consider doing a group session that you have a few customers together.
Yeah, that's definitely a great idea.
Like a panel discussion.
Awesome,
for instance, Unilever, the big company, they do lots of like panel sessions with customers.
Awesome. Like a target group almost. I like
Yeah,
that.
and then you can invite 5 at the same time, and then you can give them something in exchange to thank them, but then you have like interactive session.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you. We'll definitely implement that.
And I mean, this costs a bit more time, and you can also try to live one day with a customer or a few hours, but like really, be in their space.
That could be awesome. Yeah, and document that. I think that's a great idea. I'll take it up and I'll give you feedback one day to tell you how that went.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, in terms of time, Nadine, how much time do the others have left before they come back?
Sorry, there are currently no breakout rooms that are open.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
so
we're all here.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, let me check. We have 34 minutes left. And okay, let's just move on with the program, but the case example is a bit shorter. So to summarize, I think what you can get out of these types of slides. So I mean, of course, it's nice that you answer all the questions and get clarity. But for me, the most important thing is that you really get to the core of, let's say, the challenge that you still need to solve. Rather than focusing on everything. So really define in terms of the foundation, are you still finding a customer product fit? Really focus on customer interviews, customer surveys, spend one day with the customer, etc. Or if you have nailed that down, but you're missing certain people in the team, I mean, hire that person. Or if your processes are not yet at the right level. So really identify your priority. And now I have the honor to introduce the next case example, which is KYR Africa. And maybe you can be very concise because we don't have a lot of time, but maybe you can share for 3 minutes your case, and then people can ask some questions and give feedback. Are you guys still in the room, or do you have sound issues?
Yes, we are on the room. Sorry about that. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay. Great. Let me see quickly. KYR Africa, as you all know, is a platform providing access to user-friendly, affordable justice education and advice on individual freedoms and rights. We do this via mobile, which is call and text, social media, which is YouTube and podcast, and website, which is via a Q&A forum platform, as you can see from the screen share, called KYR Speaks. You can see on the menu, and a chatbot which is coming up. Our customers are urban on the go. We had specified them a bit more than we had put it. Urban on the go, which is a group of middle income. And then we have rural traditional, which is a group with large families and derives income from selling crops. Yeah, and that's really from the rural. And then hardworking migrants, which is an urban segment that comes from the poorer rural areas in search of a better life.
Thank you.
Yes, sorry about that. And then there is the marketing. Our marketing we do again via mobile, social media, and website, and then also word of mouth and referrals. That's what we've done at the moment. Our sales channel are mobile, social media, website, and we do keynotes in terms of speaking at events. We also at value-added resellers. We are currently trying to see how we can recruit resellers and get them to sell our products, and then they get a cut out of it. And that's even from different countries and some of the people still within the justice solution space. Catalogs, we are creating a catalog for the same, and email broadcasts. Yeah, is that all, Jasper?
Yeah, and do you have a certain question that you want to ask to the group, or a certain challenge in one sentence? Like, what's the summary?
Yeah, our greatest challenge, I think, so far has been in terms of lawyer onboarding. Cost of customer acquisition is a bit high because we have to still do awareness on several fronts. Awareness minus knowledge creation also means content sharing. So which actually makes us spend a bit more because we have to do 2 types of awareness programs. Then justice solutions are not the first point of resort for most Kenyans. So even making them get to that is a bit harder. And then also they are not a priority for most Kenyans. So those are the items. The last one would be, even with internet penetration and increase of smartphones within the country, not everyone has immediate access to social media, or smartphones themselves. Yeah.
And is it easy if you had to scale, let's say 10 times? Could you easily find that people or not? So is the problem that you don't have money for to scale up, or is the problem that it will be difficult to find the people?
I think for us, the problem is enough capital to do that within also a short period of time, or even within a long period of time, because it's a consistent battle to keep educating and telling people why they need this, because they've somehow, or rather we have somehow managed without seeking justice solutions to our detriment, but still we have survived. So how do we tell people and even tell ourselves, because we're also the same people facing the same challenges, that we need justice solutions? You can't get that message just because you saw one ad. It needs consistency, and that consistency needs money, and that money needs a bit of spending.
And do you have a plan already to get that money? Like, are you preparing to get investment, or you want to do it without extra money and you just go slower? What's your plan?
We've been talking within the team just to see how we'll go around it. We haven't yet come up with a concrete solution on that, but we are also kind of identifying a few people here and there who can be part of it.
And what I also like, so you do keynote speaking, right? You mentioned.
Yes. In several events, incubators.
How does that work for you?
Yeah, it does, because because also most of the keynote events are done within incubators and accelerator events. Most of these organizations also need the help. But again, when we go even do the keynote, at the end of the day, most of them are like, do we really need legal help? We're a startup. How much will it cost? So it still is the same cycle we still need to educate them severally before they even buy in. But they see the need, especially when we talk and discuss, like in some of the startups we've been working with, when we talk and they actually are like, oh my God, we really need the help, So, and as Solomon says, the legal fraternity is good at making sure you're burning even before you get burned. So it's just how do we pass that message properly and concretely and over a period of time, so that we also don't lose them, because we lose them over that. They get into other things, which I understand, because I'm the same type of person who would get into other things.
All right, thank you for sharing your case example. And is there anyone that has a question or recommendation? I don't think so. So yeah, thank you for sharing. And then let's move to the next item. So if we look at the marketing and sales funnel, I will briefly repeat a few of the tips. So with awareness, it's really important to get out of the building and also to set awareness targets, right? So if you don't set targets for how many companies you want to approach or how many people know you, it's maybe difficult to grow. And also identify in the founding team, are there people that really like to do that? Or maybe you're a bit more introvert, for instance. Introverts have other qualities, but then it's maybe more difficult to get these awareness. So also critically look at your team. And with acquisition, really define what channel works best and go all in on that channel. If you found your channel that works, why not go all in? And in terms of activation, understand really what makes your customer buy and what problem you solve, but also what we did earlier with the how to win. I mean, are you cheaper? Are you better? Do you have more knowledge of the Kenyan market? Like, what is exactly the reason why they should buy from you? And do you communicate that reason already clearly enough on the website? You can critically assess if you do that. Then in terms of revenues, yeah, set targets and evaluate that weekly or monthly. And with retention, understand the retention behavior of your customers. And with referrals, make it easy for people to refer. So the next exercise, we will not do breakout sessions, but you will get 8 minutes again to go through the funnel and answer these questions. And what is important is to really also at the end of the exercise identify what is really the key, because I want to avoid that after the session you're going to focus on all 6, because there's always one that has a bigger priority than the other. And if, for instance, the priority is activation, because many of you have activation as key issue, like then dig deeper within activation. What is the key issue there? Do we need to communicate differently? Do we need to change our service? So really try to get to the essence of this. So maybe during these 8 minutes, first look at these 6 items, first identify what is the key issue for you, and then try to answer what you really want to implement over the next 100 days. Okay, you can set the timer, Nadine.
Yes. Sharing now, you should be able to see the timer. Maybe I'll play some very soft music. You can focus. Okay, yep, time is up. Yes, we're over back to you.
Thank you for sharing the music. I'm curious, is there someone in terms of activation, for instance, that has a new insight on what you can change to your business or to your communication to improve this after today? Is there someone that wants to share? Amer Kurdi, I haven't heard you yet, I think. Is there something that you can share on the insights that you have?
Yes, certainly. Based on what you have shared with us in the session, especially regarding the ambition, structure, ambition or values and and what we are currently doing. So basically what we're doing now is that we're collecting data from users in order to identify what is how to build the next phases of our product. So currently we have a claim checker that enables employees to understand what kind of rights they're entitled to, basically on an automated legal program. So the next phase is we're trying to decide is how will the pricing for online consultation with lawyers. So basically those employees, they receive a report, but this report is based on a computer program. And there's and sometimes the human intervention should be required. So what we offer after they receive the report, the opportunity to contact a lawyer online and to arrange questions and to validate the outcomes of that report for a small amount of fee. So what we're currently doing, we're conducting a lot of marketing campaigns. In the past 3 weeks, we have obtained around 150 unique users who actually received a report. Out of these 150 unique users through that period requested to contact an attorney through our Google form. We created a Google form to collect all this data, and we contacted at least 50 out of those 150, and we just collected some questions. So what we're trying to do is to refine the product, to make it user-oriented and to be expected. The pricing should be based on what the users are giving us information.
It sounds really good. So you're building this funnel where you share a report and they contact you. And if you look at that, how to win, what is your main thing how you win? How would you describe it?
So it's really awesome. So what makes us unique is that we're usually employees have a difficulty to go and retain a lawyer. It requires that they have to take a leave or to find a lawyer. It's very difficult, but we make it very accessible to them. Is that it's on their mobile phone. It's a marketing campaign that is dedicated to these kind of individuals. We have the personas of the workers, so we do a targeted campaign. So what they see a really enticing marketing campaign. So I want to know what I'm entitled to. All right. So they check their rights. Oh, and then we offer them the option to validate the report to contact an attorney online.
Oh, so you make
it's quick and cheap and
very
accessible.
Very accessible to get a lawyer.
Exactly.
That's good. And do you communicate that already on your website? That's your main USP, your main how to win?
Currently, what's really exciting is that through Hill's program, we're currently refining the whole process. So I'm currently working with a designer, with a legal research, with 2 legal researchers with me, and also a language expert who can write the language of our website free of legal jargon, to simplify the language, to make it easy for employees or workers who the majority of them did not finish their higher education. So we're gonna reassess the language of the website, the design, and we wanna introduce some gamification methods to make the process exciting, not boring.
That's good. Yeah, no, it needs to be exciting process, but I think it sounds really good. It seems that you're really taking this step-by-step approach, right? Focus on how the customer experience all those steps.
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much for sharing. And I'm also curious, Chris from Findex. I mean, what is really important for you to improve?
The most important thing for me to improve is also in my acquisition. And here we have decided that the channels that we are using, that is the personal marketing, is our best bet. So since there seems to be an awareness, but it's not in all areas. So there is an awareness in some areas, but not in other areas. So one area that we are focusing on in this strategy is our B2C marketing. That's personal marketing to the motorcycle operators that are our end users. And from these acquisitions, once they are done in person, it's easier to follow up on a lead and also get an activation from it. Because what is really blocking the activations for us is the acquisition strategies that we were using previously. So
because what is your how to win? What is your unique sauce?
Sorry, our unique sauce?
Yes.
What we are looking to use in our current acquisition strategy, or what's the question?
So in terms of activation, why would people buy from you? What makes you unique?
Okay. So I think for our industry, it's really red ocean. So people buy from us just because of and the customer support that we afford them, after the sale, the availability of this support, and also the business continuity that we give to our B2B partners. Yes.
So it's availability and business continuity.
Yes.
And what acquisition channel can you really scale up? Because you said the personal marketing, but is there something that you can scale up 5 times, 10 times?
Well, the most scalable, of course, is whatever is based on technology, say social media marketing. The personal marketing is resource intensive and time intensive. So in terms of scaling our social media, marketing is more scalable, but it doesn't have as many activations as the personal marketing. So it's a
combination.
it's a balance of the two.
And what channel do you prioritize then within social media?
We did prioritize social media, but now we are prioritizing the personal marketing.
Personal marketing, okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much for sharing. I think it's always interesting to learn from each other. And yeah, we're nearly at the end of the session, and I want to end. I mean, I always end it like this. It's like, hey, what's your key insight, and what's the most important next step? And I want to ask you to put the answer to those two questions in the chat. So what did you learn today, and what's the next step? And I would really appreciate if you can take 2 minutes to really write it down, because it's very interesting for other people also to read what other people got out of it, because oftentimes you can also learn from that. So please write it in the chat. Key insight and the next step. Nadine, how was it for you? You can maybe fill up the silence for 1 minute. Did you get something out of it, or do you have any reflections?
Yeah, I mean, even though maybe I am the one representative of outside of the startup world here on the call, no, but it is interesting. I mean, also my husband and I are really considering whether we should just stop being employees and start being business owners. You know, there's always this like fantasy that would be better.
That's a big statement.
Right? As soon as I graduated, my father was like, don't make my mistake, don't be an employee. So I'm like, I feel like every day I'm making a mistake these days. But it was really it was also, I think, the great thing about it, Jasper, for me, is that even though I am not at all trying to build a business up, I could follow every single step and every single piece of information that you were putting through. And I do feel like I have a little bit of tools now if I ever want to start engaging potential customers to come into my business, which is likely going to be a restaurant, I think.
Oh, cool. Where will it be based?
I mean, if I can do it here in The Hague, then so be it. Otherwise, I just came back from Portugal. I would love to go eat and feed people there.
So there'll be a The Hague and Portugal restaurants. Yeah, fun. Well, thank you for sharing. It was very useful, because now we have the first one that shared. Mikola Smirnov, can you briefly elaborate on your on what you shared?
Well, we have some problems with activation with our main product right now, because I think because of socialism in our country, and people don't like to pay money for some products. They think that such products must be made by government and it must be for free. We are working in a field of open data that government gives to civil society, and we we make products on an open data, and we selling them. But people say, why you selling me this open data that government gives me for free? We say, because you can't read it without our automatization system, because it's only numbers and not it's machine readable, not for human, and we make this machine readable information in information that people can understand and can analyze. And people say, no, maybe government should make it for free, and we won't buy it from you. So, and in some cases we go we solve it by adding an advertisement on our sites, and we are taking money in such way. So people get free information from our website, but they are looking on advertisement, and Google pay us money.
So your challenge is how you can educate people that they need to pay for your services.
Yes, yes. In some products we have clients who pay us, and in other products, unfortunately, not the main our main core clients don't want to pay us money.
Yeah, I think. Thanks for sharing. I mean, I have two thoughts on that. So on the one hand, you can educate people why they should pay, right? But on the other hand, you can identify what type of people want to pay and then focus on that. Because sometimes it's difficult to convince people that don't want to be convinced. So I think it will be also important to really understand what type of people are paying. I know it's easier said than done, but hopefully it helps a little bit. And yeah, what I learned in this session is that people are not super eager to share in the chat. Maybe that's not the best way to do it. I don't know. When I work face to face with people, it's always easy because then people just raise their finger and share. There we have Veronique. Can you elaborate?
Yes, I particularly like this section when we looked at our own strategy and looking at those 3 points, looking at, you know, your ambition, where to play and how to win. I think by just zoning into those concepts, it makes it easier to articulate, you know, what you're trying to do and what your focus areas are, specifically then looking like with your ambition, not just what you're striving to do, but also who you're striving to, you know, assist with your solution. And then also looking at sort of the playing field. So I learned something new with the blue ocean and the red ocean. I didn't know that, to be honest. So I then learned that we are actually in the blue ocean, and it helps a lot because again, with the strategy, it assists to know, like, you know, what should you focus on and prioritize at the end of the day. And, you know, just where you're playing, of course, your environment, but also the how to win, and then focusing on that aspects is very important. So yeah, one, how to articulate our strategy a lot more concisely, but also what to prioritize. I like that that exercise. Yeah.
Thanks for
So
sharing.
thank you so much.
I have a mentor and he shared this with me, and I also like it. It's quite straightforward. And the how to win, you should really validate with your customers, right? Because when you do this interview with the marginalized people, as you call it, it'd be really good to validate if they agree with how you want to win. And the how to win, you can really translate to your communication. Because once you know your how to win, you can put it on your website. And yeah. All right, thanks for sharing. I think it's the end of the session. I enjoyed spending some time with you. I wish you all the best in the future. And I will share the list of tools with Nadine, and I think we should share it in a way that is open so that people can add if they have additional ideas, right? Additional tools.
Okay, yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jasper. This was great. Everyone, I'm supposed to see you in 30 minutes on Google Meet for our October Justler Meet. And as you also know the drill, there's a feedback form that we would really appreciate if you fill in. But since we're already at 12 and we're going to meet in 30 minutes, I will close the call now. But before I do, find in the chat right now as I speak 3 things. There is the link to the feedback form. There is Jasper's LinkedIn account if you still haven't found him on LinkedIn and you want to connect, and also the link to our meet call in 30 minutes for the Justler call. I will let you go now. We all need a little bit of a break, and see you in 30 minutes. And Jasper, again, thank you so much. This was great.
Thank you. See you later.
See ya. Bye-bye.
All the best, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Vincent. Cheers.